everyone, welcome to Summerboard TV episode 2. In this episode, we're going to be talking about how to rotate your wheels so that you get the most life out of them. Be sure to hit that like button and subscribe with notifications so that you're the first to get every video that we release each week on the tips and tricks of riding the Summerboard. With these edge wheels, you're using them for steering and braking, and they're the ones that wear down the most often, and so you're going to be replacing them a bit more than the inside drive wheels. But with some regular rotation and flipping them 180 degrees in the right pattern, you can actually double the life of these wheels. When I was riding every day in New York City, which was generally pretty flat, I was commuting about 5 days a week, and one set of wheels would last me 4 to 6 months, even with almost daily riding. So this is how your wheels come standard. You can see they've got a flat wall when they go on here, and they start to wear down over time. This is a wheel that's been flipped a few times, and you can see a peak in the middle where that wear is ending and it's starting to wear down on each side. So you'll notice as you start to wear the wheels, you'll start wearing down half of one side. You can see that this gray half here, this is where the wheel tilted down and it starts wearing that down. Now as you start wearing more and more, this wear patch gets wider. That will cause the wheels to do a couple things. One, you might start getting a honking sound when you start sliding. The other consequence is you'll start getting more grip on the pavement because this contact patch is getting wider. Now me personally, I don't like a lot of grip on the pavement on my edge. I don't like laying down an edge and getting caught on the pavement. Some people really like that control that it brings. I don't. So as soon as I start getting that, I flip the wheels immediately. And as soon as you flip them and start wearing down the other side, then you're going to get that smaller contact patch again very quickly. And that's going to really help making it more slidey and buttery and a nice flowy feel. Now just to be clear, this wheel with this wear is not ready to flip. You can definitely flip it, there's nothing wrong with that, but you might as well just keep wearing it and not put the time into changing everything. But if you like changing wheels and getting that perfect pattern, sure, you can go ahead and flip a wheel with this type of wear. I would still wait. Okay, so the first thing you need to know about rotating these wheels is really how the wear pattern develops. Now, if you can see on this board that I have here, this is my personal board, and you can see on this side, the wear pattern is a bit larger and the wheels have a lot more wear than on this side. This is because this is my back foot. And so the back end of your board is going to be sliding around a lot more than the front end. Now, one easy way that you can balance the wear on your wheels is just by riding switch more often, because then you'll turn this end into your back foot and you'll start wearing that more evenly. So here you can see back foot wears a little bit more than the front foot. And so in this typical wear pattern, you'll also notice that this wheel right here is worn even more than this wheel, and this is because this is my back foot heel side. Now, most riders, when they go to stop, they stop on their heel side and just come to a stop like this. And so you're wearing those heel side wheels a little bit more, but since you're turning to make that drift with the back end having the most travel, your back foot heel side is going to wear more than any other wheel. And again, riding switch will help balance this out, but this is kind of your max wear wheel. Your least wear wheel is your front foot toe side. That's why we swap these in an X pattern. Whenever you're swapping your wheels for the first time, you'll notice that roughly half of the wheel will be worn. So you can do a couple things. If your back foot heel wheel is wearing down a lot more than all of the other wheels, and these wheels aren't really ready to flip, but this one is. So you can just switch these two wheels, your back foot heel with your front foot toe, and keep the wear side on the outside edge. And so that's where you're going to be wearing the wheel. And then you can work on these other wheels as they start to wear down. Now you will know that you're ready to flip a wheel from a couple of things. One is you'll start to hear kind of a honking sound, and that's from having a larger patch of the wheel hitting the concrete. Another way is if you maybe develop a flat spot, which is pretty rare. You have to really be going down a hill very fast, very steep hill to get a flat spot. But if you get a flat spot, you probably want to flip those. Here on this wheel, you can see I'm pretty much ready to flip these because this contact patch is very large and it's starting to kind of bell out on the outside here. So we're going to want to flip those. So let's go ahead and flip some wheels. The first tool you'll need is a standard skate key. You can find this at any skateboard shop or even on Amazon for pretty cheap. You just put the right side onto the wheel and just turn left to unscrew. And then you'll get the nylon nut. Make sure that you don't lose any of the O-rings that might come off. I keep mine on the inside so that they don't pop off and cause a problem. So now I make sure that I put this on my board near the wheel that I removed it from so I remember which side I took it from, because I'm going to flip them all at the same time so I don't get confused. Now that I've got all the wheels off, I keep all the wheels and the lock nuts in their appropriate areas. I'm going to rotate them, and I'm actually going to flip them 180 degrees so that now the outside thick pattern is going to be on the outside edge. So I'm going to start wearing that side down. So I usually start with one wheel in the X pattern, put the lock nut on, and I usually just hand tighten it down to where it hits the nylon. And do the other side. And don't forget, if your washers fell off, you want to go ahead and put those back on. So now we're going to flip our last two and rotate. And so now you can see that the thick part of the wheels are on the outside edges, and now we're ready to go ahead and tighten these. And we don't want to over tighten them. So the way that I do it is I start turning right, and then I get it to where it's tight and I can't turn anymore, and then I back off half a turn. And then I give it a quick roll of my hand to make sure that the bearings are still good and the wheel isn't caught or tightened on anything. So now we have our wheels rotated and we're ready to start wearing down that last edge. Now doing this type of regular rotation is really going to help you get the most life out of your wheels. And just know that as you start wearing down that one edge, this wheel doesn't need to be thrown away. Throughout one lifetime of edge wheels, you might flip them 7 or 8 times or even more. I typically like to wear the wheels down until I've worn past the marking on the label. So once you can't see the label anymore, it's probably time to throw away these wheels. Another thing you'll notice as you start wearing down the wheels is that the rocker starts to increase. So the rocker is the amount of tilt that you have on the board. And so when you first get the board, it might tilt not that much, and then now as we're getting more of the wheel worn down, it's increasing, and then as that wheel gets even smaller, it'll start rocking even more. And you'll notice that the ride is a little bit different with that extra rocker, and you might like it. Whenever I put on a new fresh pair of wheels, it's kind of nice to have that silent, low rocker feel, but I really like the increased rocker, and we might even be coming out with a pro wheel that will just start off a lot smaller and will just give everyone a lot more rocker from the beginning. So now this board's ready to go. I've got all of the thick areas of the wheels on the outside edges, and I'm ready to ride. All that honking, all that extra grip that I get from that larger contact patch is going to be gone immediately, and I'm just going to fly. Thanks so much for joining us on this episode, and be sure to like and subscribe with notifications on this video so that you can be the first to get the next episode as soon as it comes out.